Just want to do a quick little video here talking about the difference between the STi and the WRX and which one might be right for you. I'm talking mainly about the newest generations of VAs, but I guess you could say it applies to the majority of the generations. I have a 2016 STi. Right now I'm sitting just a little over 13,000 miles on it. I think the thing you need to really look at or think about when you're deciding if an STi or a WRX is right for you is, do you really want an STi? I think that's going to be what the majority of it comes down to. For me, for instance, I've wanted an STi for a long time before I got this car, and I wanted an STi because I wanted an STI. I'll go over the kind of benefits, I guess I'll say, of the STi over the WRX in a little bit here, or kind of what the differences are. But I knew at the end of the day that I wouldn't be truly happy in a WRX. There's nothing wrong with the WRX, it's just I wanted an STi. It's just like people that, you know, say you want a Corvette. You know, some people want a Z06. You know, they would be perfectly fine with, you know, a base model or a Grand Sport or whatever. They're probably not going to always use the extra power or handling capability of the Z06, but they want the Z06 to have a Z06, or, you know, they just like the different aesthetics of it. They think it looks better. So for me, that was a lot of it. You know, I don't necessarily need the beefier transmission or, you know, the SI drive. I don't necessarily need all that stuff. It is nice, but do you need it? No. But does anyone really need an STi or a WRX for that matter? Not really. You get it because you want it. And I think that's what the main difference between STi and WRX is going to come down to for a lot of people. So just to go through some of the differences between the two, I would say, in my opinion, the biggest differences between a WRX and an STi are transmission, and the center diff control, how you can kind of put power towards the front or the rear of the car, the bigger brakes, and SI drive, where you can kind of change the way the throttle reacts, basically. So those are the big differences. And then you have, you know, the aesthetics of the STi has the big wing, it has different wheels, you know, kind of smaller stuff that you may or may not care about. I personally think the STi looks better with the bigger wing. I like the way the wing makes the car look. It makes it look complete. To me, that's, the wing is part of what makes an STi an STi, sort of like how an Evo has the big wing, or, you know, a Z06 Corvette has, you know, a wider body. Those are things that just make those cars stand out. So to me, I like that stuff. Other people, they don't want the attention. They think it looks boy racerish. That's a tongue twister. So some people like it, some people don't. And that's just something you have to kind of decide whether you like that or not. So if you've done any research into WRXs and STIs, the transmission's, you know, a bit beefier. I don't know that it's necessarily the difference it was, you know, back in, say, 2002 to, you know, 2004, 2005. Those were the years where, you know, people, they referred to the WRX transmission as a glass transmission because they were very prone to braking. I don't really think that's the case as much anymore. I still think the STi transmission, the 6-speed's stronger, but I don't know that it's that big a difference. And at that, you have to also look at are you going to be driving in a manner that you're going to be abusing it? You know, if you're going to be drag racing a lot, yeah, the STi is probably going to be better just because it's beefier. Next thing, the difference is the center diff controller and SI drive. The center diff controller, I honestly don't use a whole heck of a lot. Every once in a while, like if I'm just out driving the country, I'll put it in, you know, I'll mess with it and I'll place it, you know, more towards the rear. But for the most part, I don't mess with it a whole lot. I pretty much just leave it in the center. And he said, you know, if I'm out driving just to be driving, I'll play around with it. But if I'm like this, if I'm just driving in traffic, I'm probably not going to mess with it. I just leave it where it's at. SI drive I do like because you can kind of have the car act the way you like it. You know, if you put it in intelligent, the three modes are intelligent, sport, and sport sharp, if you weren't aware. If you put it in intelligent, it's a little bit more forgiving. That's one of my gripes, I'll say, with the STi is that, like, combination of the clutch and the throttle, or I'll say throttle response, maybe is a better way to put it, is kind of annoying to me because it's very touchy. It can be very touchy, I should say. Like when I'm driving in traffic and stuff, I pretty much always just keep it in intelligent mode because I can usually tell what it's going to do. I drive in sport, then probably the next most, you know, I'm in traffic, but it's not super heavy and I still want to have some fun. Not that intelligent isn't fun, but I'll put it in sport quite often. Sport sharp is pretty much reserved for when I'm out in the country having fun. The next thing a lot of people just look at is the price. I mean, there is a significant price difference, especially if you're comparing base models with the STi versus the WRX. You're looking at, I think, I'm not sure what the 18s are starting at now, but I want to say the WRX starts 25, 26, the STi is like 35-ish, 34, somewhere in there. I'll have to look it up and I'll see if I can stick that current prices on the screen. But there is a pretty big price difference, and with the revised engine and the WRX, a lot of people feel that the STi isn't worth that extra money. The WRX in many circumstances is just as fast because of the gearing. It's down on horsepower from the STi, but because the way the two cars are geared, if you're into quarter mile racing, the WRX can actually be just as fast. The STi has a long-in-the-tooth motor. As many of you probably know, it's been pretty much unchanged since 2007-ish, and even before then it was not that much different. So for a lot of people, they just don't see the value in the STi. You know, the brakes are better on the STi, but for some people, they don't care about having bigger, more powerful brakes, or they're going to mod the heck out of the car anyway, so maybe they're planning on doing their own big brake kit. Another thing that some people care about is the exhaust note. Some people really like the STi's exhaust note, that kind of deep rumble. Other people don't like it. They think it sounds like it's missing or whatever. Some people don't like the WRX's exhaust note because it sounds more like a traditional four-cylinder, kind of higher pitched. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know that the exhaust note is really worth the price difference, but some people might be. So those are all things that just kind of take into consideration, and you know, for me, the STi was worth it. I liked it. For me, it was worth the extra money. For a lot of other people I know, it's not. So as I said, this is all just kind of my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. They're just my thoughts kind of comparing the two. I think a lot of people have been waiting for less money, so why would you get an STi? Just throw your thoughts out there. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe.